The meaning of life! Isn't that supposed to be 42? I mean, I could have sworn it was 42. Okay, so today we are talking about, in this naked blog, the meaning of life. And it is still hot, there are still crickets chirping, and I am still grotesquely uncomfortable. But after this I get to shower, and then, not smell so bad. So, yeah. Let's be clear. First off, to the religious, the meaning of life is essentially to find the will of your Creator. Meaning of life, eat cookie! I don't want to offend anyone. I respect your religion, I respect your beliefs. That's kind of what that is. It's for the Christian, it's the will of Jesus. For the Jew, it's the will of Yahweh. For, the Muslim, it is the will of Allah. That's what you read your holy scriptures, you read the stories of your enlightened members, and you try to seek out whatever the will of your Creator is. That's it. That's for the religious folks. Now that I've set that aside, from a strictly scientific point of view, the reason for life is to continue life and preserve its genetics. Everything from a single bacterium to the most complicated life form on this planet is trying in some way to preserve their genetic code, to live longer and to create offspring. That is essentially, on a biological level, the meaning of life. And this is kind of sad, I guess, because you're talking about a very simple thing, and this is why psychologists speculate. Why do men sleep around? Why are men typically more likely to be unfaithful? Well, the reason is because they want to spread their genetics. It's encoded in who they are, that animal self, that they go out there and they spread their genetics. And then it's like, well, why does a woman then sleep around? Because this obviously does happen, and the answer is very simple, that they're trying to seek out better genetics. And they want this person at home to take care of them, to take care of their offspring, but they want to kind of hedge their bet, and they want to have offspring that will not all be wiped out by one disease, so they want to diversify. That's deeply ingrained in the human psyche. This is a biological drive. We're talking way back here somewhere in the brainstem. That's why that's happening. And this is essentially the reason why I have talked to a number of women and reminded them that they were not single, and then there was this "oh yeah" moment on their face. Because their biology took over. They said, you will give me strong offspring, and I have a lot of testosterone, that's kind of me, and that bothers me when we reduce ourselves to the animal self. The cricket shut up, by the way. So, from a biological standpoint, you want to survive, you want your race to survive. You want your genetic code to be carried on in a certain way. This also does, in certain situations, continue on to philosophy. You want your religion or your belief system to be preserved, to be purified, and to be perfected. And this brings us to the reason for human life. And this is particularly human life. Animal life tries to adapt itself to its environment. Human life is unique in that humans adapt their environment to themselves. So here's the deal. You have many great men, many great people, not just men, who did not have offspring. Isaac Newton is a great example, in my opinion. He never had offspring. But he's a person who has achieved a certain form of immortality in our world because he advanced us as a species. He advanced our understanding of the universe. And this is a very powerful thing. So when we look at beyond our biology, the meaning of life would be to advance us as a species. To, in some way, shape, or form, make life better. make life fuller. And it's like, many people who are on YouTube here, they do that by creating content. And, long after our deaths, this content may still be around, and they may look back at this contest and say, look how wonderful it was that somebody created this. That's the nature of life. We have physicists like Stephen Hawking. I don't know if Hawking has any children. It's a shame if he doesn't. But then, how much different is our world now that he's been there and he's given us all these concepts, and we have this grander understanding of how infinitesimally small we are in the universe. That's just one of those things, is that he has advanced us as a species, and that is a drive of the human element. Now, there is an alternative theory, and not one that I'm terribly a fan of, but one that needs to be addressed, is that life is simply a method of utilizing energy. And there are mathematical models to support that life is the inevitable conclusion of a certain energy level. Certain elements added together, plus an energy level, bam, you got life after a million years or something. So, I'm not a big fan of that theory. It exists. I understand why it exists. I don't put much stock in it personally. You could also say, well, is there a meaning to life? And that's a really good question. Is there? That's a personal decision you have to make within yourself. And you as an individual need to decide what the meaning of life is. So that's just one of those things. One of those things we have to understand. Life is kind of one of those things that it gets on with itself. That's what it does. Life gets on with itself. It will get on with itself in any way, shape, or form it can. Humanity gets on with itself in every way, shape, or form that we can. We just try to survive our world and navigate and move on. That's life. I think human beings struggle to find meaning because it would give us purpose and direction. But understand, the only person that can give you purpose and direction is yourself. This is an internal process. You have to make a decision. If you believe in a God, that is a decision you have made. If you are an atheist, that is a decision you have made. If you go and have children, this is a decision you are making. That is our world. Life is about decisions. So, in essence, maybe that's the meaning of life, to make a decision. I'm Richard Neal, and you've probably found this completely useless, but, well, I had fun making this video. So, peace and long life, live long and prosper, and don't squeeze the Charmin.